everybody! I'm Aaliyah from Aaliyah Reads, and I'm super thrilled to tell you guys about, first of all, my November wrap-up, and then second of all, my October TBR. I've been super excited for the month of October because there is so much good readathon stuff going on this month. I've decided to choose one that wasn't originally in mind, but I found it earlier this week and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It's called Spooktober, but with book instead of spook. It was invented by a paper fairy, so go follow her. I think she's amazing and adorable. But it's an entire month-long readathon for October. It's got a whole bunch of hosts, has a whole lot of prompts to choose from. You don't have to do them all. She explained in the video that it's not necessary to do every single one. You get to pick and choose if you want, or if you want to do something else entirely and just like join in the fun. It's essentially a Halloween house party, but with books. There's 4 different sets of prompts. One of them is the costume party, refreshments, dance floor playlists, and festivities. All of them are so good and I'd love to do them all, but it ends up being like 19 prompts total. So she suggests in the video that you should double up if you can find a book that works for multiple ones, or just choose which ones that you fancy. I've decided to take one prompt from each section and read a book or series that works for that prompt. But before we get into all that, I'm going to show you my September wrap-up. As you saw in my September TBR list, I had quite a bit on there. I didn't get through all of it, but I got kind of close. I first read King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. She's my favorite author ever. I love everything I read by her. I followed that up with reading Twilight and Midnight Sun back to back. If you've seen any of the videos I talk about these on, you know that this was a terrible idea and I do not recommend it. Don't read them back to back. But I got through them and they were good. They were good books. I then finished it off by reading The Titan's Curse in the Percy Jackson series. I wanted to get through the rest of the Percy Jackson series, the original series, before the end of the month. It did not go as planned. I have to say though, this is my first time reading through these books. I didn't read through them as a kid. The first couple books I was like, oh yeah, that was good. I would have liked that as a kid. That was kind of what went through my brain. This book, the third one, I enjoyed now. I did not at any point think, oh, it would be good as a kid, but I don't really like it now. This was amazing. The sarcasm level was way higher. The adventures are way more serious and dire, and it's just like, but you're having fun the whole time, and it's really hard to do, and I really admire that. So those are all of my September books. I wish it had been more, but most of these were pretty thick books, so I'll say the page count was pretty high. Now we can get into the October TBR portion of this video. I'm going to go through each of Paper Fairy's prompts and let you know which one of those I'm going to choose from each section and what book I'm going to use for it. So the first section of reading challenges is called the costume party. You get to choose between scary costume, read a horror, silly costume, read a book you think will make you laugh, fantasy costume, read a fantasy, that would be pretty easy, couples costume, read a romance, or besties costume, buddy, read a book. I don't have anybody to read a book with this month, so that's definitely off. I decided to go with the couples costume and finally get around to reading The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight. I think after all of the fantasy and stuff I've read recently, I'm kind of in a minor reading slump. And I really just need like a cutesy, like simple, not high commitment book to read. So this is what I'm going to start off the month with. I think it'll help me out a lot. It's not that thick of a book, and it's really cute. I've read other books by this author, and it's so cute. The second list of prompts is the refreshments section. It starts with Punch Bowl, a book with a character who fights. Eyeball Soup, a cover you can't stop eyeballing. That's a lot of the covers on my shelf. Miss Slovet's Meat Pies, a book with a character you think will be unlikable. Devil's Food Cake, a black cover. Or Candy Bowl, take a small piece and read a novella or a graphic novel. I decided to go with Devil's Food Cake and get a black cover. I have a lot of books with black covers, but I chose one. It's called Eeny Meeny by M.J. Arledge. I picked this up just based on what it said about it in the back. It just looked like an interesting, creepy thriller. I think it's about a murderer or 2 people are abducted. I don't exactly remember why I thought it was interesting enough to pick up, but I did. And I've had it forever and haven't read it yet. I just want to know what happens. And it looks creepy enough to be worthy of an October TBR, worthy of a spookathon for sure. The third list of prompts is the dance floor playlist. So we have Monster Mash, a book with a monster literally or figuratively. I Put a Spell on You, a book with magic. There's lots of those up there. Time Warp, set in a different time. Superstition, so based on folklore or mythology. And Thriller. So this was an easy choice for me. I decided that I'm going to choose folklore mythology prompt and attempt to finish all the rest of the Percy Jackson books that I own. I have 2 books left in the original series. I haven't even started on them yet. I don't know why this reading slump, because these are fun books, so it's not like these have gotten me into the slump. It's just been like a crazy couple weeks. The last section is called Festivities. I mean, you can do all of these if you want. I'm choosing one. You can do Carve jack-o'-lanterns, so find a book with a face on the cover. Bob for apples, sink your teeth and read a tome. Hang out with the pets, find a book with an animal on the cover. Or trick or treat, choose a book you think you'll love and a book you'll hate, or that you think you'll hate. Flip a coin and decide which of those 2 books you're going to read. I decided to cover a couple of these in one shot. I'm going to read Stephen King's On Writing. Everybody knows who he is, right? He wrote a book about how to write, and it's super good. I read it a long time ago, beginning of college, and I remember really appreciating everything it had to say. And since I'm back into writing more often, I really want to reread it. This completes 2 of the options on that. It has a face on the cover. See, there's a Stephen King's face, and it has an animal cover on the cover. See, there's Stephen King's dog. I'm gonna count it as both. That is all the books that I'm going to read in October. Let's see if I can pick them up. They're all quite small, so this should be easy. Can you see them? That's all I'm going to read in October. Hopefully I can actually get through everything that I commit to this month. I'm really good at overcommitting, but you know, we're just gonna go with it. Let me know what October readathon you'll be participating in. I highly recommend you check this one out. It looks like tons of fun. I cannot wait to get started. I will link her original video as well as her channel name, as well as all of the normal stuff that I link at the bottom of my videos. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will see you next week.